Welcome to Slayerfest 98. I'm Crystal.
And I'm Ian Carlos Crawford.
Hi, Trevor Bishil. Our guest today is host of another Buffy podcast and a Buffy artist.
Trevor.
Hi, Trevor.
Hi.
So you are a first-time Buffy guest in general. So do you want to give us your Buffy origin before we get into the episode?
Oh, sure. I got into Buffy while it was airing in the middle of season 2. I watched the movie, wasn't interested in the show. And in the middle of season 2, I saw all the promotions on television and on the radio about Angel going bad or what's happening to Angel. And I was like, this show's still on? And so I came in on Innocence and like immediately fell in love. And like, there was no turning back. That episode on, I was just like, everything this show does is gold. I'm in. And then I've just watched it every year since.
Oh my God, I love that the Buffy Bazooka episode was your first episode.
I was like, sign me up.
I really do feel like that, like if you're watching the show for the first time, that's like a very good like turning point to be like, oh shit, right? Like,
oh, for sure, yeah.
They like level up with that episode.
They really do, yeah.
And especially like, I mean, we know she has the range, but like her delivery of like, that was then, this is now is like so good.
So good.
Also, I got to ask, did any of you read the New York Times interview with Sam Michelle Gellar?
Yes.
No.
Summer, did you read it?
Not the complete one. I saw that you posted about it and I read what little I could read from that post, but not the complete one, no.
I signed up for a second free trial from Slayerfest email just so I could open it. And I did screenshot it so I can send it to you. Trevor, wasn't it such a good article?
So good.
Oh,
I think like Summer and Crystal, I think you both would really like it. She speaks with such fucking confidence. It's so great. And she's not, it's the type of confidence where like, she's confident, but doesn't come off like cocky or like a jerk. She's just like, you know, this is going to be my comeback and I think I've earned it. And like, she fucking has.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And there was another part. Oh, I think I posted this, but like, she said how she's, I think it's an executive producer or producer on the Teen Wolf show she's going to be on. And she said she did that because she wants any of the young actors, if they have an issue, they can come to her. And she wanted to make sure that like the younger actors were safe on set. And I'm just like, fuck, that's like her. She's not saying Joss Whedon's name, but like clearly she's like, I don't want that happening again.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That's fabulous. Everything we want her to be.
Yes, exactly. Okay, but yeah, so we are here to talk about the Angel Season 1 episode, Eternity. Summer, what'd you think of this episode?
I was so surprised by this episode. I watched it in preparation for today's recording. So it was one of those episodes that like I must have on the binge watch, just like not seen ever. So I was like, what is this? And also like it was interesting, like they wanted this character, this actress to be like a serious romantic contender for Angel. Like he was smitten with her, and that was interesting to see, especially as early on as season 1. I was very surprised in a lot of ways by this episode.
Yeah. Crystal, what'd you think?
Yeah, I think I would say the same. You kind of think at first you know where it's going and it takes a real left turn, which is really fun. I have some big problems with this episode, but as I always do. But overall, like I think impactful, fun, exciting, and like it was a pleasure to rewatch.
I'm so happy to hear that because I was like, oh, finally Crystal's on an episode that's not a Kate episode. I feel like I put you on so many.
Angel Special Victims Unit.
Trevor, what did you think of this episode?
I frequently rewatch Angel, so I always regard this as kind of like in the back of my mind as like a whatever episode. I'm like, oh, it's one of those filler ones. And then every time I rewatch it, I'm like, oh, this has a lot of really great stuff. Like this is a really well packaged episode. And like Crystal said, I have a couple of things, like mostly consistency things that I had issues with, but overall, I really like just the structure of the whole thing.
You're all going to be a lot nicer about this episode than I am. I feel like I knew what it was. Like I remembered it's like, oh, there's an actor who like kind of has a maybe romantic thing with Angel, and then she drugs him and turns to Angelus. That was like, but in my mind, the Angelus thing happens like, we're like a good half hour of the episode of the Angelus stuff, but it's only like, what, 10 minutes?
Right.
And what you said, Crystal, it does take a few turns. And I have this quote from, who is it? Tim Minear that I put in my notes. Like, hold on, I'm just going to read the quote because it makes more sense with the episode where he said like that originally Angel was envisioned as being an anthology with the client of the week providing the emotional center for each episode. However, as the first season progressed, the writers began to concentrate on the emotional interplay between the main characters. You can have an interesting plot and an interesting client, but it's difficult to create sympathy for someone you've introduced for only one episode, which I do agree with. And I felt like I could see the rewrites happening with the episode. Like, it was like, oh, now we're one thing. Now we're a different thing. Oh, now we're doing a different thing.
Yeah.
And we don't even get a wrap up with the actress.
Yeah.
She just kind of leaves.
Okay, I was like, am I tripping? Did I just like fall asleep in the episode? Or did they like never come back to this girl?
Right.
It's very season 1, right? We open on I was thinking of you, Crystal, when I was watching this, because I hate that Cordy's a bad actor, but I know that you don't mind it, right? You kind of like it.
No, I also hate it. I feel like, or maybe I'm being inconsistent, but I hated it this week. Who knows? Currently, right now in this moment, I hate it. I hate that she's a bad actress. Right? I want her to be good at it. I feel like she would be. She's so confident.
Right. Summer, what'd you think of that?
I don't like it either. And I don't like, she's so bad.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I mean, no, I don't like it because she's so hardworking.
Yeah, right?
She plays against the expectations that you have of her. Like, I would be okay with it if she was, like, not that great, but trying so hard. But she's not. And she's kind of unfocused on what she says is her biggest goal. And that doesn't really seem like her.
Yeah.
And, like, just from the perspective of, like, having been an actor, it's like, she should be going to audition. She should be going to class. She should be, like they don't have her really hustling. And then you meet this girl and she's supposed to be the biggest star in the world. And it's like, well, Cordelia could be too. I don't know.
Yeah, because I felt like you said, if she's not that good, okay, that's fine. But like, she's like cartoonishly bad and then doesn't even remember her lines. Like,
exactly. I'm like, it's like she doesn't care.
Yeah. Because you're right. We very much know she's hardworking. So I just feel like she wouldn't not know her lines. Like,
so I guess this is maybe the show telling us that she's actually not that passionate about it, but she thinks that's what she needs. And this is like, maybe her pursuing acting is her like hangover from popularity days in Sunnydale. And actually we're watching her move away from it. I don't know. Maybe that's what they're going for.
That's honestly how I've always read it, was more that, which is the problem I have with, the only problem I have with Cordelia's character is it's like this idea that she wants the easy way out when we've seen her be so hardworking and forward thinking. And then she's just like, I just want to, get rich from being an actor or find a man who I can marry and have an easy life. And it's like, that doesn't follow anything else that you do in any of the series. So that's the problem. I mean, I enjoy the trope of watching a talented actor like pretend to act poorly. I enjoy that element, but I don't like it for her character, where I'm like, this doesn't track. So I always kind of canonize it in my head that she's just like, it's showing us she's not meant to do this. She's meant to be like a savior of people kind of thing.
I do like that reading. I think I do like you both having that reading, because now I'm like, you both sold me on that. I'm like, okay, good. That's why. That's a better reason. Because I hate post credits when they're all walking down and it's like they are like stretching to try to find something to say that's not like, well, that was awful.
Yeah.
I also feel like Cordy would have picked up on that because she's really perceptive, right? The Cordelia in this episode, aside from a part that is very good, the Cordelia in this episode almost felt a little backpedally with like, like you said, Crystal, like leftover from like her like Mean Girl days.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they feel like they do that this whole season with her. She'll just fit whatever role they need her to. If it's, okay, now she's vapid Cordy again, or now she's really intuitive and insightful. And it really is quite inconsistent. And I don't know, maybe there's a consistency that I don't see, but it feels weird.
I feel like this whole season is the problem is they don't have like a gradual thing to Shanshu in LA where that's where she realizes this is what I'm supposed to do. And she has like instances, like especially in like season 3, I think, where she has that kind of coming back to you could be famous, but like end of season 1's where she kind of moves past the shell, and they don't really gradually get there. It just kind of happens.
See, you've probably watched Angel more than I have, Trevor.
Yeah, we've got an expert on our hands.
Yeah.
Disregard 50% of what I say, at least.
Yeah, everyone listen to Trevor.
No.
The three of us are like, well, I've seen this episode maybe once. So then when they're on the street, it is so weird that they brought that character back, that it's the guy that gave Angel the card in the very first episode, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, and it's weird that he's not really like pivotal in the episode. I feel like maybe that actor was like, I don't know, friends with somebody, because it just feels weird that like he doesn't recognize Angel, which of course that tracks that he wouldn't recognize some random guy he saw at a party, but like, what's the reason, right?
Yeah. I mean, I love when they bring back people in Buffy and Angel just to help kind of build out the world and not make it a person of the week. But yeah, he just seemed like a random, like, okay, but you're not, he's literally just a plot device.
Yeah. Because it could have been anyone.
Yeah.
And the only like payoff we get is that he says, oh, that guy gave me my card. And Cordelia's like, what? I was like on him all night trying to get his card and he just gave it to you. But then that like doesn't matter. But I do like that, because I was thinking like, there was the one time when my cousin that used to live in LA, I would visit a lot and stay in their guest house. And I remember one time literally just walking down Santa Monica Boulevard, I ran into Tom Lank and then saw a porn star that I recognized, and then saw an actor from a show I had just watched, like all within the same block. And I was like, this feels very LA.
All in the same place. I will say too, just the scene that we had just covered, them walking with Cordy. As much as Cordy doesn't pick up on what they're doing, I love that it does tie into the end of the episode and building. Like, the one good thing is it helps build the Angel Cordelia relationship and their trust with each other, because that is something that will flourish after this.
Yeah. That's one thing that going through this season I have realized, and I feel like Crystal and Summer, like we kind of almost every episode has a pretty good Cordelia Angel like beat moment where it's like showing how close they've gotten, and I do like that.
Yeah. Because
I do think those actors, I mean, Charisma Carpenter's so good, but I do think they have very good chemistry here, and it's not even quite, it feels just like two people who are very comfortable with each other, right? Like, it doesn't feel like, ooh, will they or won't they? It just feels like, yes, these people, like, they're like chosen family for each other, right?
I think so, yeah. I don't think they had an idea of just how much chemistry they would have and how far they would go with it at that point. I always get strangely like territorial though, like when they like pair Angel with someone, and they rare just in the sense of like, he's in love with Buffy, and if he's not, he's with Cordy. It just,
I feel that, Summer, I do.
Yeah, and I was just like, you're just gonna like throw his feelings around to a random girl that we're supposed to only be invested in for an episode.
Right?
It just seemed weird.
And it's the like I'm using air quotes, the chemistry that they have right away is very weird, right? It's just them looking at each other. Like,
I'm not into this. Also, like, of course she's gonna want to be a vampire. She's an actress.
This tracks.
Like, I would.
Summer's allowed to say that.
I would be like, hey.
I think as a drag queen, I might also be allowed to say that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I feel the same way. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was actually why I wanted you both for this episode, because I was like, oh, they'll both have fun things to say about like what this actor does.
Immortal youth, sign me up. Lust for blood, already have it.
So, and they really, really emphasize the like Batman of Angel in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Because how the fuck does he get away? Like, she literally turns and Cordy and Wesley are still standing in the same spot and Angel is like gone.
Oh, yeah.
But what did we think of Cordelia like fangirling? Because I kept wavering. Like, sometimes I was like, yeah. Like, I think maybe Rebecca Lowell, I also couldn't quite understand her level of fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think of someone from that period that would make sense, and I settled on Jennifer Aniston. I was like, okay, she's Jennifer Aniston.
Mm-hmm.
And that made me understand her a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, how famous can you be from one TV show? But,
right. And then like when she shows up in Angel Investigation, she has like security detail with her. And like
she's Courtney Cox.
Yeah.
Yes, I got those vibes.
Courtney Cox before Scream.
Before the bangs.
So yeah, she basically is like, oh, Angel, let me thank you, blah, blah, blah. Oliver says he can pay them. Angel declines because of course he does.
Right.
And yeah, so I also have this other quote from Tim Minear because he specifically talked about Cordelia and he said, I saw some criticism about Cordelia reacting to Cordelia like in the first half of this episode with her starstruckness, but that would absolutely be her. And I'm like, I don't know.
I feel like the issue I have with her fangirling, because I love it and I definitely identify with it, but it's that she's not fangirling to someone that she idolizes. Like, I've been in the room, present company included, with people who I admire, and it's definitely makes her heart race. I've come up on celebrities where I just won't even speak because it's someone who I'm like, oh my God, you're amazing. But to do it for the fame aspect, I think is out of character for her. If it was someone that she grew up loving, then I'd be like, I'm with you. I can identify with this. But the idea of just like, let me ride your coattails is so weird.
You know what? Yeah.
You made it to a point because I would be less annoyed with it. I think if she was like, oh my God, this is my favorite show. I've been, I grew up with this woman.
Right.
You're right. That would make it make more sense.
There's also a world that's easy to imagine where Cordelia is really dismissive. Like, she's a little bit jealous and threatened, and therefore she like downplays this woman's success. And she's like, she's the opposite of fangirling. She's like, ugh.
Yeah,
right. Because she's better than that, or she should be.
Right. Yes. Yeah, Summer, what do you think of that?
I didn't like it either.
Yeah.
Because I do have this idea of her as a character that she's the queen bee.
Yes.
And she's always the alpha. And so I didn't like her immediately giving that away.
Yeah.
And then also it was slightly invasive, her like fawning over her. Like when she goes to her house to meet Angel, she like goes through her things and it's like, well, that's just kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Like it was also just kind of shitty.
Yeah.
And it was to immediately use her, not to really befriend this interesting, famous, exciting person.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Completely agree.
It would have made more sense to have Wesley as the like fangirl.
Yes.
Just totally uncool. Like he's watched that show. He's obsessed with her. He can't keep his cool. And
that would be so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have made sense in their dynamics. What I will say is that like I have met people like that who are like that with drag queens who've been on TV, and those people do exist. I just don't think it would be Cordelia.
Yeah. Yes. I think that's a very good point. Is like, yeah, of course people are like that, but like Cordelia wouldn't. I feel like she's, as you said, Summer, she is the queen bee. She would, even if she had that in her head, she would keep it inside and then afterwards maybe like be like, holy shit, can you believe I talked to her?
Right.
Yeah. Angel leaves, but Cordelia takes her card, and we cut to the next day where like Cordelia, what is Cordelia saying? Something about like, she hasn't had a show. That woman, Rebecca Lowell, hasn't had a show in like a season and a half or something, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
right,
was
yeah.
like, oh, ouch.
That
Okay.
was like, and I do like that she's fanning over when she's like, I made the front page. Like, that does feel Cordelia when she's like, well, it's just part of me, but I'm still in that picture.
Yeah.
I had a friend who was a like dog walker, and he once was behind Madonna and her daughter in like a very prominent paparazzi photo. And he posted that shit, and he was like, look, I'm in a photo with Madonna.
Kind of cool. That's something you like do get framed and show your family to laugh about.
Right? Yeah. So she wants to speak to Angel because what is attracting her to Angel, Summer?
Well, he's hot, but I think you're right. I mean, immediately they went full Batman. Like, he
Yeah.
disappears with his fucking cloak, And then we have her be like, we have the close-up of that. So it's hard to know if she was ever just innocently interested in him as a man.
Yeah.
Or if she always had an idea, especially because when it's revealed he is a vampire in the mirror and in his like supernatural ability to defend her at her home invasion, she's such a cool customer.
Yeah.
It's almost like she's like, something's up with this dude from the moment they've met.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Because she even like very heavy-handedly is like, I can have you over for a screening of the episode I didn't win an Emmy for. And like,
what a weird thing to say.
Spicy,
right?
yeah. I was like, my goodness.
Yeah, who leads with that?
What a pickup line.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to come watch me on TV?
Yeah.
I didn't win an award for anything. But
Yeah.
Oh my
and
God.
Angel like won't take the one Cordy moment that I do like is when he says he won't take her case, and we do see that she's been listening the whole time, and she's like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's funny, yeah.
Because that feels very Cordy, because she would want him, one, to have a case so they're making money, and two, she would like want them to be cool with this person. So like that, and I like her fake, a chew, like I do like that.
Yeah, fabulous.
Well, and she also had the great idea of like, you can be a protector of the stars. And I'm like, yeah, Cordelia has ideas, guys.
Uh-huh.
She is, I feel like this season has been all of us being like, do not underestimate Cordelia Chase because she is smart.
But also the whole thing, this whole season, this whole episode, it's like whenever she does something out of character, it's still fun and funny. Like it's fun watching her do bad acting, and it's fun watching her be clueless, and it's fun watching her fangirl. But we're just like protective of her. We just we want them to write her a little bit more sensitively.
Yeah.
I think, and Trevor, you have watched Angel more times than I have. Would you say in season 2 they start to?
Yeah, because at the end of Shanshu in LA, when she gets the overload of visions, that's when she realizes that she's like meant to help the people. So like in season 2, they start off with like, let's do this. And she's like not even bringing up making money or whatever. She's like trying to save as many people as possible. So she definitely shifts in season 2.
Yeah, because
I mean, she always has that element,
right?
Because that's part of her comedy, but it's definitely dialed down a lot more after season 1.
I was just talking to my co-host for My Bloody Judy, who co-hosts this Angel coverage as well, Zachary, and he was like, Ian, this season's really rough. And I was like, I promise, starting with season 2, the writing is way more consistent. Because it's his first time going through it, and he's like, some of these episodes, I was like, yeah, you are right. Some of these episodes are fucking clunkers, but I promise it gets better. Also the thing I wanted to talk about, and Summer and Crystal, again, I feel like two of you, like, I feel like I'm not quite sure. I don't know. Like, would someone have a security detail if they're not like Madonna? Like, would someone?
I've worked with people who like I've never seen their films or anything they've done who have had like security details.
Oh, really?
I've done films and been like so happy that they do, because sometimes it's like a ride to where you want to go. Like, 'cause they have like a driver, And it's like, I don't know why you do, but it's super convenient at 3 a.m. when I want to go home. Like, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of like it.
I love that.
I had a security detail once at a gig, but it was just because they were so worried about how drunk the white women were going to get that they were like, we're going to need to get you some security for this one.
Yeah.
I love that.
So maybe they're just worried she's like, maybe they're just worried she's going to go out to like some kind of magic mic thing or like some other place where women are getting wasted.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Crystal, I like that was why they gave you security.
Amazing.
You gotta watch out for drunk white women.
No, for real though. Have you seen that Instagram handle that shows the mugshots of all these like cute like women who have been arrested and why they've been arrested? This one girl, this one girl at the time of her arrest had broken into like a neighbor's backyard and had just taken off all her clothes. It was just masturbating.
Oh, we've all been there.
Whom among us? That is wild.
Well, I think the reason she has the security detail is because she's getting death threats in ketchup, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
ketchup.
And which Angel clocks right away is not real blood. Do you know, actually, when watching it, I was like, oh, right, she is faking that shit. Like, I knew that the stalking was fake, but I just didn't know. I was like, oh, did she set this all up? Is she faking a stalker? But then it's her agent that's faking a stalker. So, Crystal Summer, where are we? I'm lost in my notes.
I don't know, but it's very Bodyguard.
So it's very Bodyguard, very Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
Actually, I recently rewatched that, and it just shows you what a great actor David Boreanaz is when you compare him to Kevin Costner in The Bodyguard.
Rough.
Oh boy.
Right, so we cut to Rebecca Lowell's house, which, fun fact, is the same house that Lady Gaga's Just Dance was filmed at.
Yeah, Poker Face.
Yeah, Poker Face. Right, yes, Poker Face.
I also saw that trivia tidbit.
Do you also go to the Buffy fan wiki to read all the? Because that's where I find all the trivia.
Oh yeah,
you got to find something sometimes with these episodes.
So we get to see her kind of like, we see that she's, lonely and, blah. And then we do actually see that like someone is there. Angel, which like, couldn't you just open the door? He like crashes through her glass doors.
I actually have an issue with this fight in particular because something we talk about on another Buffy podcast sometimes is the inconsistency of Buffy's powers. Like, she'll break a door handle and then won't be able to open a door in another episode. And you're like, we've established this. But in this, even within this episode, he's like, later in the episode, he throws Wesley across the room just by picking him up, but he can't fight this random stunt guy. Like,
yeah, I know.
I was like, how did you get bettered by this person who has no strength as you do?
Yeah, I feel like on both shows, that's very much the case. The inconsistency of like, whether they're fighting a demon or just like some dude, it's like the same level of threat when like it shouldn't. Like Angel should have been able to punch that guy with one hit and be like,
knock him out.
We're done. Yeah.
Yep.
But instead, the man throws a whole shelf on him and then runs out.
Classic.
Yeah. That's my go-to move.
Yeah. So the police, her agent, everyone arrives. She says she wants to be alone. And then it's because she knows that Angel is still there. Mm-hmm. I will say, I also forgot. I was like, wait, shouldn't he not be able to get in her house? But it's because she said, like, come
You're
over
invited,
for a screening.
Come over.
Yeah, yes.
Why don't you come up and see me on the TV sometime?
Yeah.
Quite an invitation.
I have two questions, because we know that obviously this stalker assassination attempt is fake.
Right.
What was going to happen with that car if Angel wasn't there? Because I think she was about to get hit by that car. And then what was this man going to do in her house?
That is true.
Because he didn't account for Angel.
Yeah.
No. What was going to happen?
Maybe he was trying to kill her, and then when he got caught, he was like, I mean, what I was trying to do was...
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that.
And then also, like, if you get shot at with blanks in, like, a dark alley and no one sees, like, how is that good for press? I don't, Anyway, whatever. I'm looking for meaning where there is none.
Right.
But that's what I thought too, and I'm like, did the agent actually want to kill her for her residuals? Like, what's happening?
Maybe. It is very bodyguard.
Yeah,
it is. I will say, I don't know if either of you have watched the episode She is by far the worst episode. It's with Bai Ling as like a interdimensional, and it's something, and it's like a metaphor for like female like genital
Feminism?
mutilation, and like
really?
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, because they all have like their powers on their spine. The other men want to cut it off.
oh my god,
Yeah, it's very, very bad.
holy shit.
But yes, but like they try to sell us on like, ooh, these two people are so hot and have such chemistry, and it's so bad that I found like, well, at least it's not as bad as the like anti-chemistry he had with Bai Ling. But like the chemistry here still isn't that great, right?
No, it's not that great.
Like,
It's like they're just like stare at each other intensely. That's chemistry, right? Just be in the same space, really close, and don't say anything, and then you guys are good. As opposed to like Cordelia, who has natural chemistry with.
yes.
Yeah.
I wonder if like that spoiled us because we like Charisma and David Boreanaz do have good chemistry.
Right.
And even just like as friends, they have better chemistry than whatever this is.
I know.
I do love this actress and her face. It's fascinating to look at, and she's so like striking in a very peculiar sort of alien way, and it's fun to watch her do things, even though I don't buy them as a couple. I think she was on Hercules. Because
really?
How do I know this? And sadly, I watched a lot of Hercules as a child, and I do remember her. Yeah, so I'm glad to have the excuse to stare at her face, but
she does have like you are right. It is like a striking look.
Yeah.
Do we think that was a wig or was that her real hair?
I don't know, but it reminded me of Courtney Cox.
It did, yeah.
Like Friends era.
Yeah. But after the important thing to mention is that when Angel does save her, she has that like mirror wall and she immediately sees that he's a vampire.
And she's chill.
Yeah, she's very like, okay.
Neat.
After everyone leaves, she like has that convo with Angel where she's like, if I touch you, will it be cold? And then she's like, I've touched colder. I was like, pick up line. Like,
I've touched dead bodies before. This is like, whoa, what?
Like, ma'am.
Not a Wendy.
I know.
I did like the Angel line when he says that like Frank Langella is the only believable vampire performance he's seen. I thought that was like
that's clever.
Yeah, and I Summer, to your point of like, if we just did she have ulterior motives? I think if we just were like, oh, they just want to fuck, like that would be fine, right? Oh, they both just think they're hot, but they try to sell us on like a relationship, and it doesn't, like, it's totally fine if it was like, oh, she just thinks he's hot and like wants him to come over. That's fine, but like, it's the romance aspect that's like, right?
And the seriousness of which she was taking it seemed kind of out of place. Also, like, there was just a lot of threads that were kind of hinted at in this episode overall that were never really addressed. Like, you know, we talked about, did she know he was a vampire from the get-go? Did she have the intention of becoming one from the get-go? Or did she discover that as they were getting to know each other? Like, had she met a vampire before, and that's why she was so easily able to identify what he was? Like, you know, it was very clear that this woman had had a lot of experiences in the world and was not naive or sheltered, and was sort of like a realist in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But the emotional components of why there was such a deep and strong connection that we were supposed to buy into just were not established, other than, like you said, two very attractive people breathing the same air in the room.
Yeah.
Other than that, and she was incredibly watchable. Like, I found her very interesting.
Yeah.
And I'll admit, like, wondered, like, what else has she done? Like, this actress is really unique and interesting, and I can see how they would make her the object of his rare affection because she was so interesting. But it was just her, the actress, that was interesting to watch. They didn't lay forth the groundwork for her to be as compelling as we were supposed to believe she was. So it was just hard for me to understand because it was an interesting concept. Like, it was a good concept, and then bringing in the Holly weird elements to the fact that this man is now in Los Angeles could have been so funny and so great. And they just didn't. I don't think they excelled as much as they could have.
Yeah, I think you're right about that, because then in season 2, when we get Lorne and the bar, that's like immediately more fun, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's like this demon bar in LA where like everyone is chill and it's just demons hanging out. Like, I feel like if we could have, maybe we brought that agent back because he knew Angel was a vampire, because this agent like represents some demons or something like that, would have been a fun way to play with that, right?
Yeah,
I know. Like, has she met vampires before? Because she is in Hollywood, you know,
right.
and she's being sucked dry, and then she has this very toxic agent.
Yeah. Then we cut back to Angel Investigations, and I do like Cordelia and Wes having this conversation. She's worried about, because Angel spent the night. He is taking the case, and I do like, and like the through line this season, Cordelia's ready, right? Like, she is very much. She knows what he can become, so she's like on the ready to be like, no, fuck, we gotta kill him. Like, and I do appreciate that, like, because, you know, even though it's not like she was fighting Angelus, she was there, and like she would. It does track that would be something that would make her nervous, right? Like, oh, my boss could turn into a murderous killer in like very easily. So I do like her having this conversation with Wesley, and she even says like, you weren't there. Like, I know what he can do.
Right.
And then I do like the line of when he's like, oh, true happiness with an actress. And she's like, what does that mean? And he's like, a TV actress.
No, what a mean one. I love too the setup and establishing of like, no, it's just not just if Angel has sex, he becomes evil.
Yes.
Like, because that is such an anxiety up until this point where you're like, this is going to be miserable. Like, he can't be happy at all. And Wesley's very much like, no. Do you have any idea how rare that is? He will never get that again. Like,
and that is like an important distinction moving on, so that we can be like, okay, Angel can fuck. Like,
right, yeah. Which they only do a couple more times. Like, season 2, season 5, and then it's like, all right, we could have had more, but
wait, who does he have sex with? Just for science.
Darla and werewolf in season 5.
Right.
Yeah.
A werewolf. Okay.
Crystal.
Not in werewolf form.
Kinky.
The Darla thing is a big deal, right? Because aren't they worried?
Yeah.
Isn't that what it is, Trevor? And then
that's
it's like,
where,
no.
That's where he has his epiphany. I mean, I don't hope it's not too spoiler for your audience, but that's where he has his epiphany. He's basically like a gray angel. He's not Angelus or Angel, and having sex with Darla and not turning has him realize that, you know, he has a purpose.
Yeah. And that he can, if he wants to, get it in every once in a while and be like, okay, I can fuck. So we then cut. Cordelia goes to Lowell's house, and that's when we get the scene that Summer you mentioned, where she's like, I do like that they give her this cartoonishly large cross around, like, that she's wearing.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
She has like that and her lattes. And then what is it? She left because she had to go to lunch. Angel tells Cordelia, oh no, she knows I'm a vampire. She knows I can't go out.
Also, wait, but I just want to point out, Cordelia knows what Angelus would wear, which is so funny to me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, tell your Angel, because Angelus would never wear this.
I do like so that. Funny. That is a very good line. Yeah, and so we see that the lunch she was going to with Oliver, the people that were supposed to show up, what was it that they were just going to hire her, but then they didn't? Something like that, and they want her to read, right?
Yeah.
And read for the part.
Yeah. Girl, at least it's not a self-tape. Like, they're bringing you in the room. Just be happy.
Summer.
It's weird, too, because, like, I think I always read it as she's been out of the spotlight for, like, 10 years. But Later in the episode, he says, "You, Raven was 24," and she goes, "But I'm not 24. I'm 20." And he's like, "Shh," and you feel like she's going to say like 26 or something. I'm like,
right?
I felt like we were a lot farther past Raven.
I know.
I don't know. What's going on.
I was like, oh my god, this woman's younger than me. Like,
Right?
She's
like
like
a lot.
baby.
Yeah, a 2100. Like, what?
That's a whole other story.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, because it's like, I don't know if any of you watched 30 Rock, but it's like Jenna Maroney when she's like, I'm 24. Like, she's like aging herself down.
I had issues with it. I had to remember this is way back in the day because there was so much that was so problematic and like honestly just untrue, right? Like about being an actor, period.
Yeah. I did put in my notes, it felt, and it's weird, right? Because like clearly, you know, these people wrote for Buffy, these people wrote for Angel, and these actors came from a show that was popular. But it does feel like the writers like watched a like 50s cartoon version of celebrities and like that's what they landed on for this version of a celebrity.
And made Hollywood just deranged even more so than it probably was then. Like
yeah, very weird. So she comes back, we get the treadmill scene, which because I'm very gay, I was like, oh, this is like Goldie Hawn in the First Wives Club. She does her best thinking on the treadmill. And she's like telling Angel. She's telling Angel that like, you know, she never has to read for parts, blah, blah, blah.
All I could think about was who puts a treadmill in front of a window. You're gonna fall out the window, girl. Safety. And did anyone notice how much like nicer Angel's apartment suddenly was? Like the set design?
No.
Well, that was her apartment or her bedroom.
No, like later on.
Oh,
goes to his dungeon bunker, and I'm like, or has this just progressed over the season? I don't remember, and I'm just coming in cold. But I feel like suddenly his little bunker was so interesting and had all of these great set pieces. But I don't know.
Cordy's been sprucing it up.
Yeah. I did think maybe they were lighting it differently because you could actually like see.
It
and normally
different.
It was like super freaking dark.
So we've done some thinking on the treadmill, and then then we go to the premiere that she's not going to watch, and we have the Blanks assassination attempt. Angel struggles quite a lot with a stuntman.
He really does.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
she doesn't show much self-preservation. She's not really good at dodging from bullets. and then she confronts her slimy agent about him doing it all for a stunt.
Yes, she was on to him because she recognized the stuntman, right? She like actually recognized the guy.
Right.
Yeah. Trevor, what do you think about this reveal?
I like that it ends the bodyguard aspect of the story. I'm like, thank God, now we can just move on with what you actually want to tell in this episode.
But right, it is weird because that's like its own plot. That's like a 20-minute plot in this 45-minute episode.
Right.
This feels like 3 different episodes that they were just like, cut it into one, right?
Yeah. They should have had her recur.
Yes.
That would have made her matter more, too, to the audience.
Yeah, give us one episode where she's being pursued, and it's an assassination episode, and you know, that can be demonic somehow. And then the second episode, because now she's realized Angel's a vampire, it could be the whole thing that happens in the second. That would have been much better.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm sure they had an episode they could have cut.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Quite a few.
Oh, yeah.
Like cut one of the 10 Kate episodes.
Oh, God, yeah.
I will say Angel looks very handsome in that suit. And I'm not the big fan of the side part, but I think he looks cute.
I know, I like the hair.
Right? Yeah. Then we cut back to Angel Investigations where I do like the beat of like Wesley being like, well, actually, and Angel says they were blanks, and Wesley's like, they were blanks, and it's like, oh, you already knew.
Oh.
And then we get the Cordelia and Rebecca Lowell shopping, which again, I don't know. She's doing too much, right?
Too much.
Yeah.
But we get an iconic outfit from Rebecca. Wow, what is she wearing? It is so insane and wonderful.
I don't even remember what she's wearing in that scene.
So she's in like a cardigan and then like a really high-waisted pair of pleated culottes and like a platform sandal and then this really bizarre baseball cap because I guess she's like, I'm hiding. And not a single garment she's wearing fits her, and it's like 4 different outfits all on her body at the same time. It's really fabulous.
So they're going shopping. She wants Cordy to help her pick out a gift for Angel. She's clearly just like, it's because of the conversation she had with her agent where he's like, you're not whatever age anymore. And there's even like a very heavy-handed line, right? Doesn't someone say like, you can't be 22 forever or something like that?
Thank God.
I know, right?
Who wants that?
God, I was out of my mind.
So, well, we get the shopping scene is a shopping scene. Cordelia's, I don't like the way she's written in that scene. Then we get the other episode, which is Rebecca letting herself into Angel's apartment, newly well lit. She's brought champagne. Trevor, because when we cut to him later, before he's like feeling the drugs, he is a little drunk.
Right.
Do we ever land on that? Because Spike does get drunk, right?
Yeah, I think it just takes a lot more to get them drunk.
Because I was like, would the drugs affect him that fast? Like, I was trying to think, like, because they go back and forth with the breathing all the time, whether they, like, can have breath or not. There's a lot of them talking in this apartment.
It's almost like they were bored with the original story they did that they had to do to get here, and then they're like, okay, now we can do all the fun dialogue, and it's like, you could have just done this from the beginning, I guess.
Yeah. Crystal?
Yeah, what are they talking about this whole time? I'm just like scrolling through this episode silently, and they're just in this dimly lit room staring at each other for hours.
For way too long.
Yeah, I'm trying to imagine. We get that like cringy locked arms thing, which I guess is that how she spills the drink on him?
Yeah. God, that is so cheesy and corny. I'm like, ugh, Angel. Ugh.
So what was her intention here? Do you think she was trying to get him high so he would have sex with her and that would make him evil? Or did she know that getting him high would make him evil?
That's what I wasn't sure about. I wasn't sure if it was like, oh, get him high so then he will bite her, or then he will fuck, or then, like, I wasn't sure what other than she wanted to become a vampire. I didn't know if she knew
I feel like
how
she
to
didn't really think this through.
Yeah. So, yeah, we get a lot of them talking, and a thing that this show, a lot in the season, they do, a lot of Angel season 1 is a lot of people standing talking, and like, whereas on Buffy, that's fun because everyone is like 100%. There's like a fun ensemble. So like when they're having their meeting to discuss whatever the weekly demon is, it's fun. But on Angel, it's not fun when they're sitting around talking. Unless Cordelia is in the conversation, then it's like more enjoyable. So,
yeah,
but
it's so true.
Speaking of Cordelia, then we cut to her apartment, and I do like that she immediately is like, I think I did something wrong, Wes, and like, we learned that she told Rebecca Lowell, but did she tell her about the curse or about just like how to become a vampire or all of it?
So I think she definitely told her about him and Buffy sleeping together because she accuses her of being a quote unquote slut later.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So I think she had the assumption you did what I told you caused this, but I don't think she told her the extent of what Angelus did just because she's a client. And I think she at least had the wherewithal to be like, I'm not going to terrify her of like this guy who like murdered people a couple of years ago. So I think she just basically laid out the basics. Like, he has a soul. He used to be evil. Now he's not. There was a blip where he was evil again, but as long as he doesn't have perfect happiness. And then I think Rebecca was like, perfect happiness. Gotcha.
Oh, right. Because she does say it as like a quote unquote happy pill, right?
Yeah.
I love that these drugs were that powerful. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. That's one of my issues is like the inconsistency. I'm like, I mean, the idea is that his soul leaves his body.
Right.
I've definitely felt like that in a nightclub before.
Yeah.
It's just floating outside of you, and then when you're back, it's like, oh, okay, never mind. I mean, I guess it does speak to the idea that Angel, and this is kind of not necessarily a hot take, an unpopular opinion, but Angel and Angelus aren't different people. Angel blames things on Angelus because he doesn't want to take accountability for them, in contrast to like Spike being the same person through and through. So Angel having his inhibitions kind of removed brings him, because I think that's part of Angel's charm, honestly, is that he's constantly having to fight this thing inside of him that's really dark, as we see in season 2, and obviously when he's Angelus and has nothing holding him back. So I think this didn't necessarily remove his soul, it just kind of like made him like not having a soul, which is to not give a shit.
Interesting.
I know I'm not necessarily looking for
twisted semantics there, but you know what? Sure, we'll take it.
I'm honestly just trying to make sense of it, because I'm like, well,
you've clearly given this much
body.
more thought than the writers of this episode did.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, because like then Wesley even says to him like it's an illusion, and it's like, but an illusion can't make you make your soul. I will say though, when David Boreanaz clearly has fun as Angelus, like right,
he's
favorite,
great.
Yeah. And even like the visual of him, like, cause she is so small in frame that when he like grabs her, it's like, ugh. And like when he like pulls her over to the fridge and like pours blood on her, I thought that was actually like, that felt brutal. That felt like a gross visual. And like,
So
right?
gross.
Like,
yeah.
Because you don't realize it's happened yet. You're just like, oh my God, Angel, what are you doing? And then when he starts realizing, you're like, oh God.
Yeah, like at first I just thought like he was being uncharacteristically like a dick.
Mm-hmm.
Like just being like, you don't want a soul? This is what it takes.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh no, it's really dark now.
Yeah. When I first saw it, I thought that was what Angel was trying to do. I thought he was showing her this
like,
isn't what you want, which is still a dick move, because I'm like, you're being very disrespectful of her personal space, but and then you're like, oh, never mind, he's just evil, I guess. But yeah, to your point, Angelus is my favorite. Like, especially on Angel, compared, like, he's fun on Buffy, but I feel like in Angel, he really, like, chews the scenery when he is Angelus. And you can tell David Boreanaz has so much fun being Angelus.
Yeah. And I feel like that is probably fun, right? Because he gets to be it's the same, like, he's still kind of the same character, but he gets to, like, be very different and, like, doesn't have to be, like, brooding and angsty when he's Angelus.
It's just him being like, God, finally.
Yeah.
I can do something else on the day.
I'm allowed to move my face.
I'm allowed to move my face.
Crystal.
That's basically like my whole takeaway of this episode, that like I'm happy because it's really fun to watch Angelus, and it's scary, and like like the lights are out and it's really scary. It's like good horror.
Yes.
And but it also feels completely unearned, and it feels like
yes.
It feel like I was like, oh no, they're wasting this good moment on like some like middle of the season episode that doesn't matter, and they're like throwing it away, and they're making his curse kind of like not mean as much as it should, and all of these things that are like, it's really annoying, but it is also fun to watch.
Yeah. Yes. That's like the whatever the saying of the show. It's basically like none of this really makes sense, but it's really fun.
Yeah, really. Season 1 especially. Yeah, like because yes, I still the fact that Wesley's like it's an illusion, and I'm like, so then is Angel pretending? Like what the fuck?
Right.
Whatever. But I do like that Wesley and Cordelia arrive like just as she's gotten in the elevator. She's got herself free. I don't understand how Angel couldn't have just like walked up those steps and killed her, but whatever. And I guess, is it like a crank elevator? That why it gets like goes up too high? I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do like that Wesley and Cordelia come in and Angelus turns off the power, and it really is, you are right, Crystal, it does feel like a little horror movie, and it's like good, it's like enjoyable. I do wish that my memory of it being most of the episode was this. I do wish it was, because I think this is like instantly more fun to watch, right?
Yeah. Imagine they spent half an episode like with Angel stalking them. I guess
right?
he can't really kill anyone, right? Because it'd be too complicated for the show. But there could have been, because that scene with him spraying blood on her is really gross and impactful, and it's scary, and like it's fun to remember like the duality of this character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like remember that he's a dangerous vampire.
Uh-huh.
Which Wesley brings up later too, where he's just like, I do not envy you. That's awful.
Yeah. And so Angelus comes up, and I actually like, again, with the horror movie stuff, when it's like they are Angel's chosen family, so Angelus knows everything about them as well, and he's able to be like, God, what does he say to Wesley? He's like, you don't have an inferiority complex, you just are inferior, before he like knocks him out.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate all the mean things he says to Cordelia.
Yeah.
But Summer, how did you love this Cordelia moment? Because I did.
I love everything she does. Like, I'm such a Cordelia fan. And it's just like, it is hard to watch him be mean though.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like making fun of her acting. I'm like,
so below the belt.
Yeah.
I think too, what I like about this acting moment is it speaks to what we talked about earlier, where Cordelia does put on a great performance, obviously because Charisma Carpenter's a very talented actress, but she puts on a believable performance to Angelus, and it speaks to the idea that she's not good on stage because her heart's not in it. She doesn't genuinely want to do that. It's just like this shortcut that she's looking for, that obviously, if anybody knows anybody, it's like, that's not a shortcut. Getting famous isn't a shortcut.
Right.
And so she's like, it's something that her heart isn't into, but she can't figure out what her purpose is. And this is showing like she can act. She just doesn't care to.
Yeah, because I loved how quick thinking she was. And Summer, all I could think of was like how much we compare like Margot and Cordelia, and how that felt like a very Margot move, right?
Oh, well, I like seeing this back, I'm like, God, so much of Margot was inspired from Cordelia, I think.
Yeah, and like, because I all I could think of was, I was like, oh, this is some shit Margot would be able to pull, where she'd be like, fuck, I need to think on my toes, and I need to like make sure we don't die, but I don't have anything, so I'm just going to project my confidence, and it works.
Sure. Oh, for sure.
Because I really do like, I love thinking of, wow, she made all that up, when she's like, yeah, well, when you're sleeping, I have the priest from down the street come over and bless the water, so it's all holy water. Like, that's fucking smart. I would absolutely not think of that if my boss who turned evil was in front of me ready to murder me.
Well, because you also believe that she would do that. She's been very upfront about like, oh, I'll fucking kill you. Like,
I'd be so OCD about that, actually.
Yeah.
I probably would.
Just wear garlic around your neck.
I'd have a game plan.
It all actually would have been holy water.
I'd be like, I'm sorry, homeboy, you're not reliable.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
You're like, oh shit, I forgot to tell you, when you're good, don't drink that water, please.
Right.
And I even like that she has the line, and the Oscar goes to, like, like a little Like,
Yeah.
right? It's like a little fuck you to him. It's so good.
She's like, I can't act, bitch.
Yeah.
It was a little bit confusing what her plan was. I guess maybe she could see Wesley coming for him.
Yeah, I guess.
Or it's like, okay, you've thrown the water, now what?
Right.
And I got very stressed out again. But yeah.
And the Oscar goes to, and then he just kills her, and you're like, okay.
And I like that we just kind of wrap it up, right? Wesley knocks him down the elevator. That's like a rough fall. It's like he smacks his head.
Oh,
on the top of it, flips around, and then falls down an elevator shaft.
Kill a human for sure.
Yeah. And so I very much love that we haven't even talked about it. Rebecca Lowell is gone from the plot. Like,
gone.
She's just gone.
Maybe Cordelia was just like, get out.
Yeah.
How dare you? I would have liked to see that scene because that would have been good of her being like, now get the fuck out because I hate you.
Right, and she just runs screaming into the night, and you're like, okay, great. She learned her lesson.
Yeah.
You know what would be good as an episode down the line if they had done it, and she like became a vampire.
Yeah,
that would have been cool.
Like the last season, they're watching a movie, and she looks exactly the same. And is she?
That'd be great.
And I do. Every episode has, well, not all of them, but a lot of them have these weird like wrap up moments. But I do like this. I like that it's the next day and Angel's chained to his bed.
Yeah.
And I really like when Wesley's like, no need to apologize. And Cordelia's like, excuse me, there is. Crystal, what'd you think of this moment?
Yeah, I loved it too. It's really fun. And I'll watch David Boreanaz tied up any day.
Agreed. Trevor, what'd you think?
I loved it. I love that there was honesty in the scene. It wasn't just forgiving Angel. It was especially, I mean, Wesley did, and they'll deal with their stuff later on, but like Cordelia's like, no, listen up. Like, we'll move past this, but you need to be honest with me, because what Angelus said is true. It's what you think, but you won't say shit to me, and we need to be honest with it. I love that she's just like, I'll forgive you, but like, be better.
Yeah. Summer, what'd you think?
I liked it. I mean, I like that Cordelia still does expect like an apology and the respect that she deserves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was hard though, because how are these characters at the end going to hold him accountable for what the writers didn't? You know?
Right.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, and I was just like, I couldn't even focus on that last final scene, if I'm being completely honest, because I just kept thinking, where the hell did this actress go? Like, I just thought I'd missed that.
Yeah.
You know?
It is weird that they don't even mention, right? Like, there's not even like a wrap up line here.
Yeah. And what was this drug?
Yeah, right?
Was
like,
it ecstasy? Was it Xanax? Like, what are we talking here?
I think they mention it earlier in the episode, but I think it's a made up drug.
Oh, it's like a made up name. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Not that I would know what's real or not.
You're like, I know exactly what it is. It's also a slight plot hole, unless my memory's failing me. But in season 4, which is a problematic season for other reasons, but in season 4 they need Angelus, and they do this whole thing. I'm like, well, we have a drug that's just temporary, guys. Like, like, why don't we just get that?
You know what, though? Yeah. Like,
I hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
The drug thing bothers me because there's so many plot holes within that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There really are. Just like, so when the high wears off, does he turn back? Like,
I think they want people to forget about it. They were like, never mind. Pay attention to the rest of the show.
Yeah,
I think a lot of season 1 was that. Like, moving on, they were like, let's not address these things.
What bothers me the most is like the fact that his powers changed. They should have had a Bible for what the rules of these vampires and these creatures are.
Yeah.
Always gone back to those rules.
Yeah.
What a come down, though. Imagine that the next day. Like, you take drugs and you get the crushing weight of everyone you've ever killed returning into your body. That would keep you from doing drugs, kids.
Right. Quite the hangover.
Yeah.
Normally just dry mouth. Jesus.
Right.
So, I guess we're at the end of this episode. Favorite scene, Trevor?
Would have to be Angelus attacks. The entirety of Angelus is my favorite scene.
Fair. Crystal?
Same for sure. 100%.
Summer?
He did go full on, just action hero. So I'd have to say, I agree as well.
Yeah.
The fight scenes.
Yeah, same. I mean, specifically the Cordelia scene, though, for me. I just love that she comes up with this whole story all, right there. And I just fucking love her. Favorite outfit, Summer?
God, favorite outfit? It's hard. Maybe just Angel in attacks.
That's fair. That's fair. He does look very handsome.
Yeah.
Crystal?
I'm going back to my Rebecca in the Ashley Tisdale at the red carpets, going shopping. Yeah, it's
Ashley
fabulous.
Tisdale.
It fully is. I encourage you all to go and just have a look at that little scene once we finish recording it. You'll really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Trevor?
I think my favorite would be Cordelia's yellow top and red pants, mostly just because she's in stark contrast to Rebecca's all black. So just kind of showing it. And then in the next scene when she's in the dark with Angelus and Wesley and Rebecca, they're all covered in shadow and dressed in black almost. And she's the only bright light in the whole scene. I love that choice.
Oh, I kind of in the same vein of Crystal, the outfit Cordelia's wearing in that last scene does not match at all. And I kind of love it because it's ridiculous. She's wearing this is her casual wear and it's red leather pants and a light green tank top where the straps have big beads on them.
Yeah. It's okay, girl.
But I think, Summer, you're probably right. But probably it's Angel in the Tux because he does look very handsome.
Yeah.
What grade do we give the episode, Summer?
Oh, God. I mean, I just can't with the plot hole and the drug thing. I mean, I'd have to give it a C. I really would.
That's fair. Crystal?
I think I would give episode 1 of this episode a C. And I think I would give the second half of this episode 2, I think I would give it a B.
Fair.
I don't know how that averages out, but I don't think it matters that much.
Yeah. Trevor?
I think I would, with Summer, I would side on, with the plot holes, I'd give it a C. I think the entertainment value, I'd give it a B+. But I don't know how that averages either.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I think... Yeah, I give it a C because I do agree with Crystal's grading of that first part is fucking boring, and then the second part is more enjoyable, but definitely too short. Yes, thank you all for crawling through this episode with me.
It was fun.
Thank you all for listening. If you like Slayerfest 98, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you get your podcasts. You can support us on Patreon, where we're going through What If Season 1. We might be finished by the time this comes out, but we do a lot of movie coverage. I do some episodes with my mom, where I make her watch an episode of Buffy or Angel, and we talk about it. And if you want to follow us on social, we are at SlayerFestX98. If you want to follow me, I am at Ian Carlos. Trevor, where can everyone find you and your podcast?
You can find, I only advertise it through myself, so I'm on Twitter and Instagram as at Trevor Carlee. Real simple.
And Crystal, where can everyone find you?
It is Crystal. We'll see you now on Instagram and Twitter and even TikTok sometimes.
She's a youth.
Allegedly. 24
20 something.
Summer, where can everyone find you?
At Summer Bishil 1 on Twitter and Summary Bishil on Instagram.
I don't think I told you this, Crystal, but I think you have a very good handle. I think that's such a good fucking handle for social media.
Oh, thank you so much. People introduce me as Crystal Will See You Now, on stage sometimes, though. So it does backfire. That's not my name.
No! I have people call me Mr. Carlos, and I'm never sure where the confusion is because that's clearly seated in the middle of my name. And I don't know. I've had people be like, "Oh, Mr. Carlos," address me in emails that way, and I'm like, I don't know why that.
People.
Yeah.
Reading comprehension. It's a dying art.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.